What is good, you guys? It is your boy WB here with Jonathan, and today we're going to talk about what?
Stranger Things 2.
Yes, and I'm super excited because I just now got done binging both seasons because I waited until just now to watch it.
Even though it came out about 3 weeks ago, I personally watched it the day after it came out. Spent that whole day just watching Stranger Things. I'm a true fan. That's what I am. But so today we're going to be talking about it, giving a overall review, kind of an honest review, saying what parts we liked, what parts we didn't like. We're going to be talking about pretty much just how we felt about the season as a whole, and what we think is going to be happening in the future Stranger Things 3.
What was I going to say? I just now actually decided to watch it because I was bored one day and wanted to procrastinate my essay. So I was like, what's a series that I didn't watch? I'm like, Stranger Things seems pretty popular. So I started watching it and I immediately got hooked, not going to lie. I binged both seasons 2 days in a row. So that means I woke up, watched it, fell asleep, woke back up, started watching it again, went to school, watched it, barely slept because I was like wanting to make it to the end so badly because it's one of those series. It was so
that
like,
once you start watching it, you really can't stop.
Yeah, it was very hard for me to stop and sleep.
Maybe since Stranger Things is structured at the very beginning, the first couple 3 or 4 episodes is really slow. Those you can kind of just like.
Are we talking about season 2 or season
both.
1? With
Actually,
this?
both.
Yeah,
you can start it and stop it after like one episode, but once it gets after that episode like 4 point, you just really can't stop because the action is just fluid. Once
cliffhangers at the end.
Once one episode finishes, you have to put on the other one. It's just one of those kind of shows. So being someone who just binged all the episodes in like 2 days. What's your opinion? I guess you can say season 1, 2, but what's your opinion mainly on season 2?
Season 2, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know whether like they both had such like deep emotions into both seasons of them. I feel like the whole storyline overall was wonderfully written and wonderfully structured because it just went straight into season 2 perfectly, I would say. Now, kind of off topic with this, but I'm excited to see how they continue on to season 3 with this. That's coming out in like 2019.
That's gonna be coming out in 2019. We'll touch on that more later. Okay. But that's gonna come out in 2019. A couple more years. So it's even longer to wait.
Yeah, right.
Sad day. So.
Overall,
I really like it. What
was your favorite season?
Season 2 is definitely my favorite. I think that the characters have evolved more. Season 1 we got to know them, we got to love them. And then season 2 we can kind of
especially
see them
between
grow.
11
more.
And
11. Mainly 11 and Chief Hopper.
Yeah, Chief Hopper. I went blank there.
At the very end, 11 and Mike are finally reunited. But
I thought that was such a wonderful scene, how she threw the demidog or whatever.
Yes, the demidog through the window. That was what was it, episode 7? She had just gotten back from like the big city going on like a punk rock like rebellious
meeting her sister.
Rebellious streak.
Do you think in the next season they're going to go more in depth with the sisters and all the different experiments that they had?
I think they might.
I really hope so. That'd be cool to see like a whole bunch of like human experiments with powers and stuff and really digging into that.
Episode 7, I've been reading online, and to a lot of people that's been really controversial, both in the fact that we now know that there's more people out there that are like 11, and also the kind of experiments and I wouldn't say torture, but the kind of things that from season 1, what's the doctor's name? I cannot remember it for the life of me. Dr. Brenner. Dr. Brenner.
Wait, is it Brenner?
Yes, it's Brenner.
Or was that the guy from season 2 that was like,
No, it's Dr. Brenner.
Okay.
It's Brenner. Okay. The kind of experiments that he put out, that he kind of enforced, like 11, I guess we can call her Jane too. 11's mother, pretty much going almost comatose, and
that made me cry.
only being able to kind of communicate. I still want to know how she did this. Communicating through the lights like someone from the upside down.
That's how 11 had her powers, I think. That's how.
Well, that was after 11 was born, that they did that. They shocked her, right?
Yeah, that was after
Yeah.
11 was born.
I
But I think
don't know.
the genes carried. I think 11's mother had genes of superhuman in
It
it.
had genes, something like that. I don't know. I really don't
No,
know. That's
I-
one question that I really want to be answered in the next season.
I swear that I saw it. I swear that she had the ability beforehand and she passed it down to Jane.
I honestly don't remember. It's been about 2 weeks since I watched it.
How the heck did Will not sign language? That's funny.
Morse code.
Morse code.
Yes. I really want to know. I really want...
Because they didn't do
the-
that in their little nerd group.
Well, we don't know that, but we also know that the other boys, had to actually like sit down and read Morse code
Yeah.
to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Whereas Will just somehow knew it instinctively. That's one little trip up.
Maybe
that
it could be like Will's
I want to know.
secret hidden talent or something.
Secret talent, Morse code.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were your favorite parts of this season?
The favorite parts of season 2?
Yes.
The entrances of the characters. I thought they laid those out wonderfully.
How
like,
so?
like as in how they started off the beginning with 11's sister, so-called
yeah.
sister, and how 11 like met back up with Will. I enjoyed that scene a lot, and how like just like emotions just kind of dropped in the room whenever.
Yeah.
And then also when Will found out that Hopper was keeping her the whole time. That was so sad.
My favorite parts were the fight between Billy and
yeah.
Billy and Steve. When Steve
That was
got the absolute
Yeah.
shit knocked out of him.
Yeah.
But then Max came through with the spiked baseball bat
Yeah.
and pretty much was like, get out of
No,
here.
and the syringe.
And the syringe.
The syringe is what happened first.
Yeah. I thought that was
That was intense.
really
I was
intense.
I was scared he was gonna die.
That was
I was scared he was gonna kill him.
That was one of my favorite scenes. I mean, it's really violent, but it's really one of my favorite scenes because it shows also kind of how Max as a character is.
Yeah.
Billy's sister. You know, she doesn't really like Billy. She's also kind of like that tomboy.
Also,
Like
did,
she shows more balls than the actual boys do.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Do we know what happened in their family? Are they related?
No, they are step siblings. They're step siblings.
Oh.
The mom had.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The mom had
that's
Max.
Right, that's
the
right.
dad had Billy, and then they got married. Where are your thoughts about Max and Billy?
Max and Billy.
You know, they're the two big new characters in this season, with the exception of Bob, played by Sean Austin, and Dr. Owens, who kind of
That's
takes
something.
over.
That's something we
who
need to
takes
talk
over
about next.
for
Is
Dr.
poor
Brenner.
Bob.
Yes. but
I was rooting for Bob.
how do you
man.
feel about
okay,
Max
and
and
Billy?
I think
Billy can go suck a big one.
I think he's that guy. He's a really good actor. His name is Zachary Montgomery. I think that the best type of actor is someone who can play a character
Yeah.
and make the audience hate the character,
Yeah.
but also have a really fantastic performance.
Yeah.
I think that I can compare that to Tom Hiddleston with Loki. Everyone hates Loki, but they
yeah,
also
that's-
love to
that's
hate
true.
him.
Yeah.
And that's the same with Billy. I think you love to hate him because he's such a
That,
great
that's
character.
signs of a true. Yeah.
but
exactly.
he's also
true
a
actor
complete
right there.
asshole.
With Max, I love how she warmed up to them. I love how they like all got in the group, and I love how she dealt with all the sass and all the like. Well, what's a good word for how they treated her? Very
Pretty
unfairly,
much,
very.
she was in the dark about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Understandably, because she was like this new person in school,
Yeah.
and they had this whole dealings with the Upside Down that they didn't really want to get out to.
if someone like,
but
I kind of understand. It made me really mad when Lucas told her everything, and she was like, okay, that was a good joke, good story.
And then he was like, no, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
I think it's also.
Well, would you believe someone if someone came up and told you, like, if I came up and told you, hey, John, guess what?
I would need proof. That's just who I am. I would need proof
Yeah.
to think about that. But it's kind of a role reversal we saw with Mike and Eleven in season 1. Mike really accepted Eleven because obviously he had a crush on her.
Yeah.
Whereas Lucas really kind of pushed her to the back and was like, "Hey, you're not one of us. Get out of here." And then there was a role reversal in season 2 where it was Lucas and then Max, where Lucas and Max kind of had a little thing going on, and Lucas was like, "Hey, you should this is everything we know." And then Mike goes off on her saying, she's not one of us.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to know all this stuff.
Mike did not like her whatsoever.
I think that was just kind of a little flip on those characters, and the traits that they have. That's something I really didn't like. I mean, it's a part of a story I can, it's relatable. I can understand it, but it's just something I don't really like.
Yeah.
What do you think about, okay, we said this just a minute ago, Bob, yes. Bob.
He was okay, honestly, I didn't like him at first. I thought he was too cheesy, and
I thought he was I
didn't like his little dad lesson. That was, who just texted me? I didn't like his little dad lesson that he gave to Will in the car, because do you think that could have been stopped? Well, what do you think about that? Oh God. Do you think that monster could have been stopped if he didn't stand there and say,
I think that
go away?
With Will, this is a little transgression, kind of diverging off. I think if Will had gone and hid from the shadow monster, he might have been able to go back into the real world. But with Bob saying I told it to go away, then Will just stood up for himself and was go away. Then the shadow monster's like, no.
That was stupid.
It's
exactly.
No. And just, had his way with him.
Of course, it's kind of like I don't know if this is a good comparison. Wow, my computer's noisy. I don't know if this is a good comparison or not, but between, it's kind of like ripping off a bandage, I guess you gotta suffer that little bit of pain real quick.
Yeah,
I guess
except
it
was a lot of pain.
It was a lot of pain, and
it
not
lasted
very quickly.
The entire season.
Yeah. But, do you think he's cured now? Do you think he completely got rid of his connection with
I think
the Upside Down?
His connection with the Upside Down, I think, is not gone at all. We saw, even though there was still a gate open in between seasons 1 and 2, and he still had he still had that reality flipping, kind of, he was flipping in between realities, between season 1 and 2. I don't know if that's correlated. It might just be because he was in the Upside Down for so long. He kind of just has that connection with it.
Yeah.
Like the Flea from the season 1, Flea and the tightrope walker metaphor, where Flea is someone who could just go in between realities.
Oh yeah. I
think
remember that
he just got that ability. That's what I think. Okay, back to Bob. Okay. Back to Bob.
Okay.
I think that was stupid.
That was dumb. How he died. I wish I warmed up to the character. I warmed up to him. He definitely gained all my respect whenever he took charge and went to go solve the little geeky nerd computer.
The creators, they actually said that they planned to kill him off earlier in the season, but they liked his performance so much they kept him for a few more episodes. And then once they got into the episode where he ultimately dies, they're at that point okay, are we just gonna have to rip off the Band-Aid and kill him? No one's gonna like it, but it's gonna kind of have that death that needs to unite everyone, or are we gonna keep him and really no one dies this season? So they decided ultimately to kill him off. It was a stupid way.
Yeah, it was a stupid way. It could have been it would have been really. It would have been.
It was way. It was really avoidable in that situation.
It was.
That's what makes me mad. If he had brought his gun, he would have survived. And if Chief Hopper hadn't been
do you think he would have survived though? I think even if he brought his gun, because he was still staring straight at.
If Chief Hopper had not said, "He's gone, let's go," after one little claw, I think he would have been still alive. If Hopper had run in shot at the demi dogs, and like Bob had to run the hell out of there. I think they would have gotten out, but Hopper's just like, let's just go. Let's talk about. There's one theory in particular I just read today. Maybe a few more if we can think of them off the top of our heads. One theory is that. Okay, so we have two realities
in this now, y'all.
In this series. You have two realities. Okay, we have the normal one. Let's just call it reality one. Then we have the upside down. Okay, reality one, then upside down. One key detail actually that I read online, that I went back and saw a clip, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Reality one, it's in the 80s. Okay, so all the cars are obviously going to be from the 80s, or the main bulk of the cars are going to be from the 80s. In reality, in the upside down, all the cars you see on screen are cars from the 50s.
Whoa.
Only from the 50s. No other year.
I need to go back and watch
car.
that.
So personally, that can mean a lot of stuff. I think that they were just two plain realities. You know, there was, if you believe in that kind of stuff, reality one, where it's Stranger Things, the normal world. Then reality two, it was exactly like the other one, except something happened in the 50s, which would be probably around the time that Joyce Byers and Chief Hopper would be in high school. Something happened at that time to cause it to turn into the upside down, what we see as the upside down, with that shadow monster. Would it be that the shadow monster invaded, kind of like he's trying to do right now, invaded that reality and just killed everyone and pretty much just turned it into a wasteland?
Just like he kind of tried to do with...
Or like he tried to do
with Earth in
season 2 in reality 1. Or was it something else entirely? I think that's something that should be explored in the next seasons. If not that, then at least explore more about the upside down.
Did we? I can't remember.
Nothing really has been talked about the upside down. It's just that big bad scary place that you portal to, and it looks exactly like.
This is kind of off topic.
Reality.
Oh, we were just talking about now, but did we discuss the sisters already? 11 sisters.
We touched on that.
Okay.
We touched on that.
Just making sure, because I got confused with the last recording.
But yeah, that's something that I think should be touched on more. 11 sisters. She's obviously the 11th one, presumably the last one. That means that we already saw 8. It's 8, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we already saw 8. We saw 11. So what happened to the other what, 11? No. Edit that out, please. 9. Okay. So
that was funny. You said 11. I caught you in your stupid moment. You never have a stupid moment.
That was a really stupid moment.
That was hilarious.
If there's a blooper, it's just tag that in. Okay, so one thing that I'd like them to touch on is 11 sisters, 11 and 8. 11 is...
What if they all team up to be able to
defeat the shadow monster once and for all.
And completely shut down the upside down.
I really want to know if there's more of them that are still alive. Okay, we saw 8 is alive. We saw 11 is alive. There has to be more. There's 9 others. I mean, presumably the first couple ones died, but
maybe.
I mean, this is experiments. Usually the first couple ones.
Oh yeah, exactly.
As bad as that sounds, they probably are dead.
Rest in peace.
I really want them to explore the other sisters, maybe even brothers, and see
that's true.
What their powers are, what they can do, and what they could add to the story about kind of trying to shut down access to the upside down.
I wonder what all Will's gonna gain too. That's a question. He's really been through all this.
This
his
whole
genes
series,
would change or something. You would think.
He drew the short end of the stick. First, he gets trapped in an alternate reality and has a slug in his mouth that he throws up and I thought that's so disgusting. Milky fluid that's keeping him almost dead in the upside down. Went from that to being possessed by the shadow monster. and like
That's a lot to take in as a little kid.
going all demonic and
Literally.
like almost dying from having the shadow monster like heated out of you.
You know what sign?
That's
not sign. You know what?
He really
You know
drove a
what
short
scene
end.
really got me emotional was the when they were all around him telling the stories and stuff.
And he didn't like.
Yeah, he wasn't even flinching. Like
he did not know.
That was such a like harsh and like a very emotional part in the series.
In the series as a whole. That was really God. I couldn't imagine if something like that happened to one of my friends. Just them not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Except past a certain point where like I probably didn't even know them yet.
What do you think of Will's mom? As in like she was very bold to go straight into heating the monster out of him.
Yes.
Did you expect it to literally show the scene of the monster coming out, or what did you think was going to happen?
In this day and age,
because I feel like
in this day and age, there's a lot of stuff that they show on television. So when they're like talking about heating the monster out, I expected that to happen, but I was
scared he's gonna die.
Joyce, I thought he was gonna die too. For Joyce Byers, I think you have to be really strong in order to like potentially your child's
like
either,
take a chance at
your
child's
either gonna be like alive and possessed, or like you try to cure him and he could potentially die.
Yeah.
So you have to be really strong in order to make that decision to risk his life in order to possibly save him. So we've been talking about this the entire podcast. What do you think is going to happen in the next seasons?
In the next seasons, I think it's a conglomeration of what we all just covered today.
Like
just like what I hope they would cover is more on the sisters, more for the Upside Down.
Yeah.
What if they completely change characters? Like, what if the Upside Down monsters went after someone else instead of Will getting the hit?
Well, we know. Well, if it goes to someone else, I don't know. We already know that the cast is returning for their cast is staying the entire series. We already know that there's going to be a time jump in between seasons 2 and 3.
That'd be so sad if they change characters.
Of a couple.
The cast.
They're not gonna change the cast.
The cast is too good.
Yeah,
especially the little
their
kids.
chemistry is way too good.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be waiting at least until 2019 to release the next season because the kids they're going through puberty. They're growing up. So they're gonna do a little time jump so they can show like maybe 3 years in the future what's gonna be happening. I think definitely the Shadow Monster's coming back at the very last scene of season 2.
Spoilers,
even though we've been talking about this the entire
good point.
thing.
By the way, guys, don't watch the. You don't want spoilers.